Hello. Welcome to another edition of the Blathering Live, episode 181 of the podcast that started out as just an audio barf that is now an upchuck of video. What? Hey, everybody. We're going to have some fun tonight for an hour of calls. You know how it works. I'll start the timer once we go to calls. Call in, have something to say, have a question, have a thought. Let's get to it. Let's get you out of here to the next call. But here's the thing, too. Some nights we have a ton of calls. Other nights we don't. It's Saturday night. You might be out doing something. You might be in for the evening. I don't know. So if you call and then you want to call back, just go to the front of the line again. I don't care. All right. A lot of folks checking in. I appreciate that. Michael McCarcel, he's the detective. Not really, but he's here. 898-4M, Kingsport Cal. Andrew Cook greeting us from the future out there. 11 a.m. Sunday, his time. Kiwi time. Sean's here, checking in from the East Coast of the Americas. Crafted Jedi. I put a question up if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're on Twitch, there's one viewer on Twitch right now. We keep Twitch going. We keep the Facebook streams going. If you're on Twitch or on Facebook, you can answer this. Just pop it in there. But the question of the night is, what is your go-to comfort show? And there's no debate. No debate here tonight. I want some answers. It's better. This is your comfort show. This came to mind because, obviously a lot going on out there, and sometimes we all just want to kind of turn our eyes to the world, turn away from the world, and just go to some happy place, which I think is okay, as long as we're also aware that it's important to continue to plug into the world at large. And today I had a weird day, in the sense it was a good day. I actually woke up kind of early on a Saturday, and I got some stuff done. I actually made a list last night. And I with this broadcast, I'm crossing everything off my list today. I've done it. I've completed my list. And I completed it kind of early. And at about 1:30 today, I had nothing to do. Now, there's 50 things I could have done to get ahead of tomorrow or this week, or just work on my career and edit some shorts or some reels or anything like that. I could have done 50 other things, like I said. But about 1:30 today, I was like, I got nothing to do today, and I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am without this work. I don't know what to do if I'm not doing something that's related to my careers or occasionally playing video games. But I didn't want to do that. I already done that over lunch. All my work was done. The blathering was a couple hours away. I'm going to work out after the blathering, so I couldn't even do that, which just kind of counts towards work. I had 2 hours to figure out who I was, and I couldn't do it. I had no idea who I was in those 2 hours. So what I did is I put on one of my favorite Simpsons episodes. You all don't know me as a Simpsons fan. There are people in my life who probably haven't talked to me in a long time who are like, I guess you like Star Wars. Yeah, I guess you like Star Wars too, but you were a Simpsons guy. So I put on Simpsons. I put on one of my favorite episode in which Milhouse's parents get a divorce. And because of kind of what's going on in my life, I was like, I've been making references to that episode for the last couple of weeks. And can I borrow a feeling? I sleep in a race car bed now. I cooked a hot dog in a sink. And I watched the episode, had a lot of fun. And then there was a bag right here next to my studio. I'm like, what is in this bag? I need to know. Well, I just have a bag full of crap right here. And I found a bunch of old hats. So in it was this Duff hat. So if you're listening, I got myself a Duff hat, a trucker Duff hat that I picked up at Universal Studios probably 15 years ago. So it got me thinking about comfort shows. And the greatest comfort shows of all time. And these aren't necessarily your favorite shows. They can be. Simpsons is one of my favorite shows. But it was a comfort show back in the day, and I'm going to put it on a little bit more. I need some comfort. I'm going to watch The Simpsons. All seasons. I'm not one of those people, too, even though I have not regularly watched it in years. I did not pull off The Simpsons because it, quote, sucked or got worse. I think some of the better episodes are in the teens. And then there's some great ones in the last few years as well. So No comment there. But just looking at, see, I'm going to YouTube here. Does anyone have some direct responses? How does that work? No. Okay. So you see that I'll just take the live chat here. That's what we'll do. We got the next generation. Frazier from JMB. Addie says it's a hard question. Depends on the mood. That's fair. We've got some choices up here. Rebels, Phineas and Ferb, Simpsons from 8984M. Brady and I could cuddle on the couch together. Arcane for a few years from Crafted Jedi. Lately, Expanse, Rings of Power. I like that as a comfort show there. Big, bombastic, mythic comfort show. Andrew checking in with some Star Trek Next Generation, Doctor Who, and currently Ted Lasso. Show I have not taken the dive into. David McKay says Coupling, which I'm sure is the UK version, not some watered-down American version renamed and cast with all white people. 898 Forum says DS9. There it is, a DS9 reference there. So there you go. I want to hear more of that tonight. If you call in, Sean says Supernatural, Cinder says Seinfeld. Gilmore Girls or Parks and Rec? Parks and Rec also for Kingsport Cal. I've never taken the Ted Lasso or Parks and Rec, but I don't know why I didn't with Parks and Rec. And I think the train left the station for me. I was not a fan of the American Office for a long time because I was a snobby British Office fan. All right, I was one of those. I like the British version, and guess what? I still like it better. But eventually, thanks to syndication, I did watch a lot of the American Office, and I did enjoy it. And I am a fan of Steve Carell and a lot of the people on the show. So I'm on board. No problem with the American Office. But Parks and Rec arrived as kind of this, I won't say direct spin-off, but like this kind of in the same verse, same style, same vibe. And I just didn't. It was at the time when I didn't like American Office, so I didn't fall for it. Didn't go for it. But not saying it's good. Old Hand Sauce is SCTV, always good for a chuckle. I want to revisit some SCTV. Does anyone know where I can watch some old SCTV? Love SCTV. I want to do some Yash Smengi references and jokes. And 8984M says The Office was, he knew The Office was originally a British show. He's on board there. As far as Ted Lasso, it's like one of Josh McCouga's favorite shows. I like Sudeikis. I got no problem with Sudeikis. I don't like Sudeikis with a mustache. Maybe that's what did it. I don't know, but I didn't take the deep dive. So there you go. I want that. When you call in tonight, call in with whatever you want. We got an hour of calls, but also let's talk about that as well. How do you call in? I think, YouTube channel members, you get to call in. Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Ken Napzok get to call in as well. Just put a new episode of Pop Rockin' Radio up there on the Patreon page. Also going to be adding something to the community page on YouTube that is just for YouTube channel members, where I'll be taking some specific questions to use in another thing later on here, Blathering related. I'm going to try something out there with producer Steve. All right. So with that said, let's get to some calls, but let us go ahead and start the timer as we take our first call of the day. She's a professor. That is right. Let me make sure the call-in layout is set. It is Dr. Addie. Addie, how are you? Comfort shows. What's on your mind? The floor is yours.
Hi, Ken. How are you doing?
You know what, Addie? I'm okay. Like let's take the world and put it on the shelf today, right? Let's.
Yep.
We know that's a problem. All right,
Yep.
B-52 bombers or whatever, B-52 like it's World War II, B-2 bombers on the way to Guam. That's where my dad was stationed in the Navy for a year and a half. Put that aside. I'm actually okay today, Addie, and I don't know what to do with that.
I feel you, Ken. I feel that's been me the last couple of days. I will say I've started using, this is not why I called in, but I started using this new app called Finch Care.
Finch Care.
Which is essentially a self-care Tamagotchi.
Okay. I like
so
this.
Like you set little goals for yourself for the day, and by checking them off, the little bird gets energy and it goes on adventures and discovers the world, and like you take care of it by taking care of yourself. It's great and it's free. And some of the goals are super easy, like I got out of bed today.
Okay. This is not a bad idea at all. This gamifying mental health is a good thing because I started learning to invest when I got on like Stash app, and they kind of gamified investing. I don't know if that's the best way to invest, but it got me to learn it. So I like this idea. Where it's an app, you said? I can just
It's an
grab it?
app. It's an app. I can post it in the Discord because it
Please.
looks like Brady is interested also. But it's really it's like it's a little bit like Animal Crossing. Like you can buy cute outfits for your bird, and your bird you can assign goals to different things and hatch like little pet friends for your bird. So
Little
like right now,
birdlings?
my bird has a pet cat,
Okay. Okay.
and like you can decorate their house. Like it's just I don't know. It's I've been doing it for like 17 days, and it's
Is
not
it
that hard, but it also brings me small joy.
is so it's working. It's working overall.
I would say it's not working.
In the mental health battle, that is a win. That is a win. If you're getting out of bed, step one, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into this. Yeah, drop that link in the Discord, and I'd love to see that. Yeah, because yeah, I don't need that daily, but like I said, the biggest thing today, I didn't know what to do with just myself, Addie. I didn't know, so maybe that would help me focus even more. A little bird will help me.
But even on those days where you don't know what like one of my goals every day is to make a list of things to do, because I'm very much like if I have a list of things to do, I have a much better day than if I'm just sort of like which thing should I start? There's 50 things to do.
Yes.
So it I don't know. It helps me focus. But also like I said, you can set really small attainable goals
Yes, I need those.
that make it like so that even on days where you don't get a lot done, you still feel like you accomplished something. Because like I did get out of bed. I did,
That counts.
take a stretch break. I did
got up.
thank myself for surviving the day.
I think this is great. And old Handsaw checking in today says I fell asleep in a chair twice last night, never made it to bed. My bird would be dead. So can the bird die, Addie?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's like a Tamagotchi, so probably, but you can probably revive it like a Tamagotchi.
That's good. Yeah, that would be devastating if the bird dies and you can't get it back.
that would be very sad.
Yes.
For comfort shows,
yes, hit me.
I don't know how to answer this question because I'm sitting here staring at my physical media shelf trying to find the answer, because I just have my physical media all right there.
That's a big shelf. I'm staring at a big shelf of physical media.
And it depends on the mood. I will say I am a serial rewatcher. It's an anxiety comfort.
Yeah, exactly. It's familiar territory. I'm big on that.
Familiar territory. But when I was in college, the answer would have been Gilmore Girls. I watched Gilmore Girls on repeat on DVD because streaming wasn't a thing.
Right.
And I would get to the end of season 7 and pop in the first disc of season 1 and just start over.
Yeah. That's a lot with the Gilmore Girls. That's a lot of episodes.
I can't work with silence, Ken, so there's always background noise playing.
Okay.
And I think that's part of my serial rewatching is that there's always background noise playing, so I'm rarely watching things I'm rewatching. But I fall asleep to The Big Bang Theory just on a loop.
I mean, look, we all can't be perfect, but okay. Okay.
I love you don't understand, Ken. I work with those people. It is true to life. The Crown, Game of Thrones, The Office. I really was a fan of the weird ABC show Once Upon a Time.
Oh God, I remember Jennifer Goodwin. Was she in that? Was that her?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to during that time. Her boyfriend at the time used to do stand up. He wasn't very good because he was too pretty. But she would always be at the shows. Sweetheart, nice. Good. What an era! What an era of pop culture.
Yeah. Downton Abbey, How I Met Your Mother. I'm currently rewatching Bridgerton. Like things will just pop up, and it's like, oh, I haven't watched that one in a while. I'll watch that. Like
yeah. No, I think you're describing all the comfort. Yeah, Simpsons is by far my only one. Star Wars stuff pops up, but it's the background shows. That's what's a good comfort show to me. I was watching that episode today with the Kirk Van Houten getting divorced episode, but I wasn't watching it. I was doing some work and just relaxed. So yeah, that's the key to comfort, where I think you do know it, right? And new shows can become comfort, obviously, but it's the rewatchability.
Yeah, it's the real. There are certain things I've watched where I'm like, and I never have to watch that again. But at least I've seen it. Like,
I think that's good. That's good. All right. Well, a lot of great comfort shows there. Old Hansel says MASH. MASH is an old school comfort show for me too. I haven't watched that in years, but used to have that on. Gilligan's Island, probably that for me too. It's one of those old classics, syndicated comfort shows for me. But
yeah,
all right.
I don't necessarily agree with the things he has said recently, but like, I'll rewatch Home Improvement.
Yeah,
that's a good childhood nostalgia comfort show for me.
Yeah, definitely not a Tim Allen fan, but he has his moments as a performer, even including as a comic. I don't fault him for getting famous for creating a really great brand. And I was a Home Improvement fan. I did switch to Seinfeld, but I'd still catch Home Improvement. Yeah, it was a classic for a reason. It was good for a reason.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. You got that's good stuff. 52 minutes. You got a question. You got a question.
I do have a question. I keep a notes app on my phone and think of questions to ask you. So we will go with the top of the list tonight, which means it's been on the list for the longest. Have we taken statistics in baseball too far?
You talk about the new stats, that kind of stuff, the spin rates and stuff like that.
I'm talking about just like when I'm watching a game, the things that pop up on the screen to tell me that like, well, this is the first time since 2012 that this person has hit this in this ballpark this far for this many yards. Like it's just, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a statistic for everything, and I don't know. It's borderline interesting, but also like we've taken it too far.
Yeah, yes, as someone who used to want to be a baseball statistician, I love all the stats. But I do enjoy them. I do think it's not that it's too far, but it's over. 898 for him just said that, some of them don't need to be on the broadcast. That was a conversation I had that was enlightening to me with a former major leaguer that I used to know. And I asked him about the new stats. And I said, do I care about spin rate and exit velocity? And he goes, you shouldn't. We as players need them. They've changed the game forever in the best way possible. You could measure your performance down to a millisecond. But he goes, if anyone's in your friend group's concerned about it, they shouldn't be concerned about him. So I think it's fun. It adds stuff. The new gen stats add stuff, but it can be overwhelming. And it's turned some people off to the game who've loved it, where just you get a little overwhelmed by it all, where you see a stat line and you're like, what is OPS plus and this and that? But once I stopped to learn some of it, I do like them. But it's also final thought on it, Eddie. You're also talking about what is a baseball tradition in a way, much like Star Wars fans and glup shittos, where it's just now it's expected. Baseball's going to have some weird stat that you don't even think you need to know, but now you know it.
I guess it's less the weird stat, like exit velocity, whatever. Like that's fine. That's fascinating because it's like, oh my gosh, that ball was going 105 miles an hour when it hit that pitcher in the face. True story from me. Our minor league ballpark, one of the pitchers in the dugout got hit in the face.
Saw that
with a foul ball. But like, just like when it pops up, like this is his batting average versus left-handed pitchers, and this is his batting average versus right-handed pitchers, and this is his batting average when it's the cutter, and this is his batting average when it's the four-seam fastball, and I'm like, who cares? I don't even know what pitch he threw.
I think it's I think for those that do, I think it's valuable and it's fun to watch that. Like the righty lefty stuff's pretty basic, but I know what you mean. You're using those as examples. Though David McKay points out something that is both an insult and a truth. You need something to distract from the baseball. How dare you, sir? But you're right. I think where it mixes, where I'm not old school in this way, but like especially back in the 50s when platooning really started to emerge in the 50s into the early 60s. The Yankees, actually, Casey Stengel, I think, was one of the first to really utilize, someone might correct me on that, but he was the first to really use platooning with the Yankees. That came from the new stats that they were paying attention. Well, this guy, Gene Woodling, bats this against left-handed pitchers. Let's put in Hank Bauer on the other day, like all that kind of stuff. So every time there's a new round of stats, it does change the game, interesting enough.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, some of them are fascinating. Some of them are just interesting. Like, oh, well, that's the first time somebody's done that since 2012. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of numbers on the screen, and sometimes I don't know what they. Maybe it's just because I don't know what they mean.
I think if you were to get into some of them, you would enjoy, like OPS plus, the wins above replacement, all that kind of stuff. I think with your scientific mind, you might enjoy them. Now, Jared brings up how real was Moneyball. Pretty real, and changed the game forever. But it had been in place for a while. Bill James from like the 80s was putting those kind of new stats out. It's just the crusty old timers didn't want to adapt it. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. You get into it. Look up some of the baseball stats, Addie, and report back to us if you've changed your mind.
I mean, I definitely learn more by watching baseball. Like I do have to say, if you watch baseball and listen to the announcers and you have good announcers, you can actually learn stuff. Like a couple years ago, I realized that baseball is, you're going to laugh at me when I say this, but I realized that baseball was a game of skill, not luck.
Absolutely. There is a collection of stories. He is a conservative commentator. I'll say that. George Will. I don't always agree with George Will, but he might be a little bit of an old school legacy Republican that we can occasionally hope to have him say good things. But he's also a baseball guy, and he's a great baseball writer. And he wrote a collection of his essays, came out, this is mid-90s. I got this book as a gift for coaching a baseball team. And the intro is he recounts a Baltimore Cleveland playoff game from 96, I think, maybe 97, but maybe 96. And it's fascinating. It's just fascinating read. And then when he gets to the end of the story, he's like, all that took like 32 seconds. And he just goes into everything that's at play in that one little moment of the game. And it reads like it's a year-long Lord of the Rings epic of all these things at stake and here and this and that. I recommend maybe I'll try to seek it out for you, and you might appreciate it, even though it's from George Will. But George Will, we'll see. There you go. All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, I see Laserbolt in the comments. Laser, I'm sorry.
What'd he say?
Oh, no. I'm sorry because the Rays have been whooping the Tigers. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Laserbolt. It won't last forever.
The All-Star break is coming. We will trade all of our good players, and then we will fall apart. It will be fine.
There you go. And the Lions will come roar back over Tampa Bay. Addie, thank you. Go back to watching some baseball. Please report back once you dive into find your favorite new stat and report back to us.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Sir, yes, sir. All right, 45 seconds left on the hour. We are going to get a standby in the comment section, but a relatively newcomer here. Rads, check it in from across the pond, I do believe. Rads, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. You?
I'm doing good, which again, don't know what to do with, Rads. What should I do with myself when I'm happy?
I don't know those feelings at all. I'm English, I'm miserable.
That's why I might want to move to London. I can just fit in over there. But Rat, it's good to have you on the show tonight, my friend. What's on your mind?
So mine's kind of tying into, the question of the day, which is favourite TV shows. I'm kind of like a metalhead, into kind of sports and all that. Also a bit of a geek, but one of my favourite shows is Queer Eye.
Oh, so, okay.
My question is, is there any part of yourself that you like to almost throw the middle finger up to the rest of society, what they think about you or what perceptions there are of you? Is there something you take joy in, just kind of almost out of spite, or
Yeah, it might be pineapple on pizza, but I have too many people on my side. So you're talking about what kind of, not an intentional stubborn stance, but just something that I'm like, yeah, no, I'm on board for this, and nothing can take me away from that. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, a little bit, because I mean, again, I like angry music and everything
Yeah.
like that, and sports and
So,
aggressive
and
NFL.
then,
But I
yeah,
quite
and then
like watching people making people happy.
yeah, and Queer Eye does that a lot. Yeah, that's it might just be. I don't know. For me, like it might be a little bit in the pop music, like the actual pop music. I'll use Spice Girls as an example, not just because you're calling from where you're calling from, but that was at some point when I started to embrace them. And there's so many like people and things telling me not to that I was like, nah, F it. Like I actually legitimately like them. Like I'm actually going to stand tall here. And then I think that translates into then with what I do in podcasting and comedy and radio, like that kind of stuff becomes valuable to a certain degree, having this kind of silly stances that will upset everyone here in chat. But that was one that was kind of personal because I had also told myself, this maybe relates even more to your question. I had told myself I couldn't enjoy things like that I wasn't supposed to. And once I broke through that, it opened up a lot of doors to other things I enjoy.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that because, like, as much as I do like rock and metal and things, I not gonna lie, Dua Lipa comes on, quite enjoy it. Good bass lines.
See? Right? Like, it is what it is. Cinder says the prequels, that's an example that works for Star Wars fans. Brian Tiller agrees with you, watch the OG Queer Eye all the time. Yeah, I enjoy that kind of comfort. But yeah, good for you, Reds, pushing past the heavy music you normally enjoy to dancing and watching other things. That's great stuff, man.
Cool.
All right. Anyway. Thanks for calling in, buddy. It's a little late over there, right?
A little bit, but I'm a bit of a night owl anyway, so.
See, God bless my UK and European late night owls. I appreciate you. Cool, Rads. Anything else here before I let you go? We are at 41 minutes left in the calls.
No, that's it. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, my friend. Good to hear from Rads. Good to hear from Rads there. So let's keep rolling along here as we do an hour of calls. And the Duff Hat's holding up. This has been probably squished underneath. It was in a bed drawer that's no longer there, and then now it's in this bag. It's holding up okay. I don't know if I'll wear it in public, but it might work for a show here. All right, let's bring on, speaking of comfort, let's bring on 8984M, a.k.a. Brady. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, Ken. How are you?
You're doing all right. That didn't sound fully convincing, so what do we need to do here?
That might be because I sort of lost my voice. I was doing some karaoke last night.
Oh, I love this. Please share with us the songs that you entertain the audience with. You don't have to sing them, just listen.
The classics, Sinatra, a lot of Beatles songs, some like some Queen as well.
You sang all of that?
We did 4 hours of karaoke. We had
4
confidants.
hours of karaoke. Who were you with, and where was this? Don't give your exact location, but
it was K-Town, and I was with my grad student friends.
This is lovely. I did years ago, so it's an old man story. I did attend a karaoke event in K-Town. God, I'm trying to remember where that was. It was wow. Okay. You're bringing me flashback memories. But I'm glad you had a good time, man. So you sang all those songs, or just you as a group sang those songs?
I mean, we all sang them together. We all know the lyrics. But yeah, those are some of the songs I sang.
See, Brady, you're saying something. I don't do karaoke. I'm afraid to do it. I can't sing. But when you're talking about group karaoke, where there's one person up there and everyone else is singing along, I think, like, that's, if I knew that was going to happen, I think I'd do more karaoke.
Yeah, in a Japanese style karaoke, you have a booth and you got some privacy.
See, yeah, I was, many reasons I was bummed I missed Star Wars Celebration 2025. But seeing the footage of like Alex and Molly and Alden and Nikki Kumar and Maddie Gunner, all those people locked in a closet singing to each other, that was the thing I think I missed out on the most. Because that would have finally gotten over my fear of doing karaoke and singing in public. So, Brady, maybe one day I'll do it and you can sing along with me.
Oh, yeah. They have that in LA. We got to do it next celebration.
Oh, there you go. I'll gear up. I'll gear up. 2027. Love that. So what's your number one go-to song? What do you lead with?
I usually start with Beatles, Get Back, or
Get Back.
Let It Be. Yeah, I
Let
just
it.
start.
Hold on. Let It Be. You go with a big. You go with a big ballad. You start with that.
Yeah. Oh, I start with Get Back. This time I
Okay.
started with Back in the USSR. But yeah.
Ooh, complicated. That's a lot of words. It's a lot of words in that one. That one. You got to know your way around that one. Okay. This is. You know what, Brady? We sometimes give you shit for not knowing things before your time. You're absolutely slaying it today with some a side of you I did not know existed, and I appreciate this.
Yeah, I was in marching band. Everyone listened to the 80s music, and the Beatles, of course. I was there when the Beatles got on iTunes. That's how I got introduced to them. And
Oh, fascinating.
yeah.
I love that. No, every generation finds the Beatles pretty organically, and I love to hear the different ways that happens. Mine was a cassette tape passed to me at an overnight slumber party birthday situation. Awesome. I appreciate you, Brady. Any final thoughts here before we move on to the next call?
Well, my question was, will you be watching Game 7 of the NBA Finals?
Will I be watching Game 7 of the NBA Finals?
Or like at least 1 minute?
No.
No.
I don't even know where to watch it. Where do I watch
ABC.
it? I don't have cable or any kind of live TV option.
Oh, well, you can always sail the 7 seas.
I could go to a bar, right? I could go to a bar. I think I'm staying in tonight. After I work out tonight, after the show, I'm going to determine if I shut it down for the night or if I go out. We'll see. But I'm geared up for the Commissioner's Cup final in the WNBA. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but I'm aware of it. Fever versus
is that
Lynx.
like the NBA Cup?
It's like middle of the season, the Commissioner Cup. I don't fully understand how that works, but yes, it works. So there you go. All right, Brady. Thank you.
It's going to be a great finals. You should all watch it,
Look at
Farmhouse
this
Finals.
Look at this NBA shill. All right, look at this NBA shill. Thanks, Brady.
Thank you.
36 minutes left on the calls here tonight. We got a call queued up. I got a super chat coming in. After I answer that, we'll bring in a familiar face who has a man bun today. It's going to be a good time. Malcolm coming in with a super chat. I really appreciate. Hey, Ken, hope all is well, or at least hope some is well. It is today. I've spent the better part of 3 years watching a music video daily in search of the best one. What's your pick for the best music video? Holy shit. I just today, I was just putzing around the house trying to figure out what to do with my life. I just had YouTube on, was watching a lot of live performances, but watching music videos. What is my all-time favorite music video? Jay for Nowhere says November Rain I just wasn't a Guns N' Roses fan, so I couldn't fully commit to it. It might be, it might be Meatloaf. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Shot at the Greystone Manor in Beverly Hills. I think it might be that. Michael Bay directed that. Also, Paula Abdul. Was it Hush? Hush is one with Keanu Reeves in it. God, that's good. But then also like just straight up ones like the Traveling Wilburys, Handled with Care. I like that. This is a great U2 in the Streets of Vegas. Still found one looking for, right? Like I think there's a lot of great options here. Bride Teller's totally right. The world stopped for the Thriller video. These are all Maddie Gutter says Alien Ant Farm Smooth Criminal. Look, we all can be wrong, but Maddie's not 100% wrong. There you go. All right. But yeah, I think if I'm gonna think music video, I do think I'm gonna go to Meatloaf. I would do anything for love. Chance also that I'd choose Prince and Cream for entirely different reasons, producer Steve. Entirely different reasons. You're not on.
I totally was muted. I was doing the self-mute responsible thing.
That's good.
No, thank you. No, you just may have taken one of mine. I just put them in the chat. Raspberry Beret.
Oh, by Prince. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And then totally other end of the spectrum, Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, I missed all that.
That's okay.
I missed all that.
That's okay.
Okay.
That was a formative part of my
Yeah.
teenage years. So early teenage years.
This is great. Do you want to
Later,
explain the man bun, which I have, Steve? I have no problem with. Okay, you think this is going to go the way of the polo? It's not.
In the way the polo is in the way of the polo to you or to me? Because
To me.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
This
okay.
isn't going to fall. This isn't going to fall down. I have I have no problem with the man bun.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's like a. Here's the thing, man. I got out of the shower like 30 minutes ago. I played golf today, Ken, so I'm like I was a sweaty mess up until like 30, 40 minutes ago. The wife and baby are not home. So
Sent them away.
Yeah, so they're not currently home. So I came home, showered, did the dog stuff, and it was either this or messy, wet, moppy. And then like my shoulders I don't like when like my shoulders and neck are all wet and then like it's just icky. So I just was like, you know what? Let's just.
Yeah, when I had the long hair, the couple times I had long hair. Yeah, you don't want it there. It gets all there. Jay from nowhere's right. There are no man buns, only hair buns. That's true. Fair. But for me, a man bun speaks to a very specific crunchy era of time, where a lot of bands that probably smell a little poor are out there singing group songs with 13 band members, all that kind of stuff. Right. Another great music video choice, Old Hand Says Right, weapon of choice, Fat Boy Slim. I do miss the golden age. Oh, George Harrison, that's a great answer, Vermont Mike. Version 1 of Got My Mind Set on You. There were 2 versions of it. This is correct. All right, Steve, we're going to take some calls here, but golf good? What was your score?
Oh, the score was not good, but we had fun. It was kind of like a make-up Father's Day occasion. This is the first game I've played in since last fall, so I shot a 103 on a hard course, very hard course.
18, full 18, yeah.
Yeah, full 18. Yeah, well, yeah. If it was,
yeah. Well, you'd
if it was 103. If it was 103 over 9, we'd have issues.
Yeah. I'm by the way, I'm 11 under after 2 rounds at Torrey Pines today. That's how my golf career is going on the PlayStation 5. So
that's impressive.
All right, let's get to. We got 31 minutes left on the call. By the way, as I said at the top of the show, if you want to call in again and with another follow-up question, have a quick quick question, you're welcome to do it. It's not a one-time thing, okay? Unless you're Jared the Time Pilot. We only allow him 1 call per week. Jared, how you doing?
Not too bad. How we doing, gents?
We're good. You're extra low tonight. Are you whispering? Are you stoned? What's the story?
I can turn my... How's that? Better?
Yeah, now it's almost... Yeah, okay. Go
better?
again. That's better. Okay,
That's better. More better.
We're gonna have to work. Yeah, we'll have to work in those settings for I had to boost you up today on Casterly Talk when I did the clip out, and I was like, I put a note to myself. I was like, let me know. Let me tell Jared he's a little low.
Well, you know something?
What's that?
Microphone has an interesting design flaw then, because on the bottom I can adjust my own gain setting, and you would think the little like symbol as it gets wider that would probably mean louder. Apparently that means it gets quieter, because I would notice on the playbacks I'm like, I sound quiet. I thought I had my mic up really loud. Nope. Apparently I had it on really low.
Okay. Well, we've solved this. And we've got 30 minutes left in the calls, but you've got the floor, my friend. And I want to know, what's your favorite comfort TV show? What's your favorite music video? When is Concept of a Plan going to have a new music video out? I want to know these things and your question.
Well, I mean, Trek obviously is one. MASH is another comfort show. And Rebels when I feel like crying, because goddamn that last season.
The last season of Rebels. The last 2 seasons. It gets to some stuff.
Yeah. See,
all great answers. Yeah.
Rebels is my peak Star Wars, personally.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Much like Bad Batch is mine in a lot of ways for the TV era. Regarding MASH, we know your age generally here. You're approaching like a new decade of life, but it's a decade that would still make you young enough to where you missed MASH in its run. Was this a rerun thing, a family thing? I'm curious about that.
A family thing. My parents were big MASH watchers, especially my mother. It's probably one of her favorite shows. And it's actually funny enough, the night I was born, she made the joke, and it actually became a reality, that I had to be born before 11 because MASH was on at 11. And I was.
Absolutely. Yeah, good. especially if it was around that finale. It was a big moment in the world, but our house too.
That is still the most watched TV episode ever.
From a golden age where the entire world essentially tuned into one show. Yeah, no, I'm a fan of MASH. Yeah, it's some of my earliest memories of prestige television on a network there. So that's fascinating. And I live in the San Fernando Valley, and in the West Valley, deep in the hills, is where they shot MASH. And I've still never taken the hike. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll do it.
Seems like a fun little hike. I mean, you guys got nice little desert hikes all over the place.
We do. All right, so that's great. Those are great comfort shows. Favorite music video? What's your not like your all-time favorite? When you think of music video, like what pops to mind?
Just basically I love the 90s style of music videos. The mostly over-edited, quick cuts, ridiculous plot. Like the one I brought up in the chat as that popped in my head as an example is 9 Inch Nails' Closer. Like that is just a weird ass little video, and I love it.
So like a lot of the mid 90s and beyond, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because the early 90s, and I put Meatloaf's I would do anything for love in the early 90s category up to like 93, 94. But then the explosion of the alt scene does change it. And here's the thing, this is what, and music videos are still out there. I wouldn't say they're going strong, but the big artists still put them out there. Haim just put their new music video out today. Their album came out yesterday. Gaga does. So it still exists. Chaperone, all that stuff. But like, I do miss the days. It's not just an old man screaming about MTV and VH1, but so much great art beyond just the musical artists, but the directors and the people that put these videos together. I think it moved narrative storytelling forward in a lot of ways. And I do miss that. I do miss that kind of stuff.
No, definitely. Even he'll have to retype it, but Maddie Gunner brought it up. David Lynch directed music videos.
Oh, it makes I didn't know that offhand, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the amount of directors, and quite frankly, just straight up commercials. And yes, they're still going. Obviously, on YouTube, we're clicking past them, but like the golden age of commercials. So many up until like the early 2010s, big name directors on the side doing commercials, and a lot of great artistic stuff happens there. Yeah. David Mackay points out, of course, the Sabrina Carpenter music video, and yes, that one counts as well.
Yeah, I actually know. Funny enough about music videos, what I've noticed about some of the bands that I listen to, like a fun example is Baby Metal. They use music videos as almost a way to release the singles now, because they've they're slowly been collecting collabs, like Infinity Gems. Like every week, there's a new amazing collab that they've done, and they just drop music videos for all the singles, and it's great.
Look, when I was like wanting to get into music in the 90s when I was in radio and I wanted to like form a band, even though I had no skills, that was like 55% of the reason was to get in a music video.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Fun. All right. Can when Concept of a Plan puts one together, can the community of the Blathering be in it? Can we find a way to make that work?
Oh, I'll figure it out a way. Don't you worry.
Okay. All right.
We got this.
25 minutes left in calls. What's your actual question?
So, sports question for you, Steve the Man Bun tonight. The classic sports argument. What is the hardest professional trophy to win? I always, of course, put in it's the Stanley Cup. 82 games for the regular season. Each round is 7 best of 7. You've got to go 4 rounds to get there. This is not a trophy to win lightly.
Or especially if you're a team from Canada, apparently, right?
No, fuck Canada.
What is, Steve, jump in on this one here. I mean, Major League Baseball adding tiers to the playoffs makes it even that much more difficult. It's such a grind, but a lot of teams get back, but then a lot of teams have never been there. So it's tough to say. Football, there's been some parity in NFL football championships, right? But if you're like Miami or Detroit, it's hard.
I think football is an interesting scenario because of how large the teams are. So if we're talking about like if you're a professional athlete, how hard is it to get a ring in your respective sport? If I kind of reinterpret the question that way, I would say football is not necessarily the hardest, just because 53-man rosters, 11 people on the 11 people are on the field per team at any given time. So that in the shorter season, blah blah blah. I think Jared is right. I think the right answer is hockey, just because they're beating the shit out of each other on ice and 7-game series, all long season, blah blah blah. But I will, just for the sake of the argument, say basketball. Similar to hockey, same length of season, 7-game series for the rounds, and then the biggest difference is 5 people on the court per team. So as an individual, the pressure for you to perform to win a championship, I think, is hardest in basketball, because your individual performance matters the most.
Okay. Here's the fascinating thing is I almost think there's no wrong answer, because they're all wonderfully difficult in their own way. A lot of people supporting the Stanley Cup. Will McLean brings up the World Cup, FIFA World Cup. There's those kind of things. One of the majors in golf, that can be very difficult. That has a lot of things have to come together. Yeah, so I don't even think there's a wrong answer. It's just and there's probably some obscure sport we're not even thinking about. Like, I don't know what it takes to win a bullfighting championship, because I don't want to know. But maybe it's pretty difficult, Jared. I don't know.
Actually, I just thought, because they brought up with the FIFA World Cup, I wonder what the percentage is for an Olympic medal. Because Steve brings up the great point.
Okay.
As you get into certain sports, the number of people per team shrinking and shrinking. As an Olympic athlete, there's plenty of sports where it's just you to go for that gold against God knows how many others.
Yeah, it's like, who's probably a great curler? Laser Bolt. Like, how hard is it to win a curling gold medal? I think it might be difficult. All right, I'm trying to ask that question there. What is the percentages for winning Olympic gold medals? It's roughly a 3% chance of winning. I don't know. That might be incorrect. I can't trust AI on this one. I don't know. I'll have to look at the source there. But yeah, okay. The point is, I wasn't wrong. Laserbolt says I absolutely love curling. Kentucky Derby. Serenity Jane says Kentucky Derby. I think, the World Professional Bowling Association Masters. Is that what WPBA Kingsport Cal is? I bet some professional bowlers pass through Kingsport. Old Handsaw, he might be right here. Nathan's hot dog eating contest, because generally it's like that one dude that wins all the time until that's a
good one.
Didn't he get kicked out or something? But now he's coming back, Joey Chestnut or something. I don't know what's going on.
I think he said some shenanigans or whatnot. I like Jay from Nowhere's. For you as the wrestling man, winning the Royal Rumble from number 1. Has that actually ever been done?
Oh yeah, it's been done. It's been done a few times, I think. First was Ric Flair winning his World's Championship. You got to be fair to Flair, and that was at 92. Yeah, I think some others have done it on both the men and women's side. And I like that. I'm a sucker for that more than someone from the 25th position or on winning. So. Oh, no, Fair to Flair he was number 3? Okay, he didn't. Okay. Wow, I thought he was always number 1. Was Shawn Michaels number 1? Did he come from number 1? It's happened a few times. Someone look up that stat. Bobby Heenan lost it. That's right on Fair to Flair. Jay from Nowhere is right. My memory is wrong here. We're clocking on. HBK did it from number 1. Did Rey Mysterio do it from number 1? We'll turn this into wrestling talk. Benoit did. Yeah. Sean was one number 5. The other one, yeah.
According to my quick research, it's the only people who have won from the number 1 slot are Shawn Michaels in 1995, Chris Benoit in 2004, and Edge in 2021.
Okay, on the men's side, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then we got Rhea Ripley on the women's side. Mysterio was number 2. Okay. And Ric Flair did it with a tear in my eye. Yeah, okay. I want to think some other woman did it from number 1.
Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair. I don't know how to say her name. Sorry. Yeah. 2021.
Yep. Okay. That counts. Good stuff. That's a great. There it is. That's the hardest one. We stumbled onto the actual answer.
I love how we've confused Addy.
Addy says, "I have no idea what's going on." I think we could get Addy into pro wrestling. I actually think that's possible.
Here's the question though: what
Yeah.
era of pro wrestling could we get Addy into?
I think
Is it
the
modern
last,
attitude, 90s?
I don't think attitude. I don't see Addie loving the attitude era, and I don't blame her. I don't see the classic. It's hard to start with the classic era because it's a little boring. I think with what's going on the last few years with the true, not just immersion of women's wrestling, but getting to a level where it ain't going anywhere in the WWE, and mixed with stuff, some of the longer form stories. I think it. Bolera's number 3. Okay. AI heard us again. Laserbolt says you can see Addie as a roller derby queen. There you go.
I could see that.
Okay.
The professor's in the ring.
Professor's in the ring. There you go.
Well, you
all right.
guys stay safe.
Thank you, Jared. Appreciate you. We have got 18 more minutes left. I'm going to bring Brady back on, and we have Addie. Addie's going to answer the wrestling question, Steve. I predict that Brady jumped back into the calls to suggest that basketball was the hardest sport to win at. That's what I think, because he jumped right in at that time.
Well, I gave him some talking points, so we'll see if that's what he goes to.
Okay, Brady, welcome back to the show. What were you going to call in for, and was I right?
Hello. That's a wonderful coincidence, but I was talking about basketball, but not about being harder. I don't really have an opinion.
Okay. No opinion. Love it. Great
They're
for
all
radio.
hard.
Great for radio. No opinion. All right. What?
What the hell did you call back in for, Brady?
Yeah, but I just called back. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what you doing over there? Yeah, how's the weather? Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to call back into, convince Ken to maybe watch at least a minute of Game 7.
Why? Okay, Brady, you got to convince me. Why am I going to find out how to watch the NBA Finals without paying for a service? By the way, my pal June Lee, who's doing some of the best sports journalism out there, check out his YouTube channel, has a great article out there. I think it was New York Times opinion piece on sports fleecing their fans and making it more difficult to enjoy and watch. It's a great article. Check it out. I'm going to try to get June on the show at one point. Anyways, Brady, convince me.
Yeah, I saw the article and it's very good.
June's great. Yeah.
Just aside from like the entire conundrum of trying to watch it in the first place, this is one of the most exciting NBA finals I've seen since maybe 2016, which was the comeback.
Okay, what happened in 2016? What happened in 26? The
we had
Sacramento Kings defeated the Washington Bullets?
No, it was LeBron James and his Cavaliers beating the Golden State Warriors, a 7-3 team.
That's right. We all remember that. Okay. All right. So it's exciting. Okay.
And we have right now we have a 68 win team, one of the winningest teams in the NBA, and they're at a Game 7 with a Indiana team that no one expected them to be there.
Right. A Cinderella story or just a oopsie story?
This is a Cinderella story of Cinderella stories.
Okay. And then would this be the first win for Oklahoma City?
This would be the first one of both teams.
For both teams? Indiana's never won, huh?
Indiana, they've had so many accomplishments they've never won.
Wow, they're like the Tampa Bay Rays of basketball.
Yeah, they kind of are, actually. Yeah.
Okay, Steve, he hasn't convinced me outside of insider stats and knowledge. What do you got?
No, yeah, he's not going to convince you. I commend his effort because it is going to be it should be a good game. The series has been really good. Game 7. Those are the two best words in sports, right, Ken?
Yeah.
But I'm with you that it's the Pacers and the Thunder. The rest of the world doesn't really care. Basketball heads care because it has been a good series. The players are good. It is exciting. Blah 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 blah. But there isn't the star power, and so that's why the rest of the world and pop culture doesn't care. But what are you gonna do?
It's one of the I get some like. Even in 1991, I think the greatest World Series I've ever watched is Minnesota versus Atlanta. But in 1991, no one gave a damn because it was Minnesota and Atlanta. And Atlanta at the time maybe had a little bit of a story because they went worst to first. But it's that thing, right? It's big market teams draw big markets.
Yep. And the stars for these teams are still ascending. Like SGA, the MVP of the league this year, is not a household name quite yet. Tyrese Halliburton's making his name for himself on the Pacers, but they're not. Okay. They're not LeBron. They're not Steph. They're not those guys that everyone knows yet. And that's still. I know that's asking for a lot. I'm not comparing them to them, but you know what I mean. Just that's how you get the eyeballs from the people that you know, and those guys aren't there yet. So.
But
I get it. But and Narcolepsy 27 in chat says that any Game 7 for a title is worth watching. I agree with that. Look, here's the thing, Brady. You're not failing to convince me. If Mark Ellis and I were going out tonight for like a drink or something, I'm sure we'd be watching the finals, and I'd enjoy it. In fact, when we were in Boston last year, Jared doesn't believe me that I was in that city, but when I was in Boston last year, we watched Caitlin Clark's college career finish, that Final Four. It was spectacular and a fun watch. So I get pulled in without a doubt, but I think the problem is, Brady, I just don't know where, and I'm not going to use one of Will McLean's illegal links.
Okay, I have one more angle right here. Okay. So on the Indiana Pacers, they have a guy who's been saving their team because Halliburton, he's gotten injured. He has a major calf injury, and it's been rested on this 5'10" white dude named McConnell. And he's literally just through sheer effort and will. He is not the biggest dude. He's not even 6 foot. He's stealing the ball, and he's just doing these crazy plays just at the rim. And I think he's the inspiration for all, 5'10" white dudes.
We don't get represented enough, and it's good that we finally get a chance here, at least on the court. All right. Well, look, Brady, I'm going to take it into consideration after I, finish the show tonight, do a quick little workout, figure out what kind of bad food I'm going to eat tonight. Maybe I'll tune into a little bit of the NBA Finals, and I'll report back. But I'm saying this. You didn't fail, Brady. You didn't fail. I'm in just on Game 7. It's just a matter of where.
Yep, just 1 minute, maybe someone in the audience.
Absolutely. All right, Brady, thank you. We have 12 minutes left in the show. All right. So we got Addy, we got Jared, and I'm also we may have just attacked Iran. Is anyone else seeing that on the news?
I've been here for 5 minutes. I just got out of the shower.
I'm getting texts from some folks.
I mean, I'm looking stuff up. You continue your program.
Okay. All right. On that note, on that fun note, we were all having a good time and a good day.
Trump announces airstrikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran.
Oh, my God.
As of 2 minutes ago. President Donald Trump announced Saturday that the U.S. has completed a very successful attack on nuclear sites in Iran, including I'm not going to pretend to know how to say those 3, but 3 nuclear sites in Iran. He said all planes are now outside of Iran airspace. And he says, now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Courtesy CNN.
Here's some bunker buster bombs. Peace, please. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's about
all right. That's how that went. Well, we got about 10 minutes left in the call, so let's 11 minutes. So let's roll through it. Brady's back on the show. Addie's back on the show. Let us get to it, Addie. How are you? What's your follow-up question?
Well, now that just killed the mood. That really just killed the mood.
Well, we're here. Let's do it. We got 10 minutes left to enjoy the Earth.
Okay. Okay. So I am deep in my summer of my summer enjoyment of guilty pleasure TV.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. This is a 2-part question, and Steve can answer the second part as well if he would like. Have you ever considered going on America's Got Talent or a similar show? And alternatively, what reality show would you love to be on? I personally want to do something that makes me famous enough to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. No, I have never considered any of those. It's hard to get in. When Last Comic Standing was going, it was all work for the most part. So that was tough. But I was one of those Real World kids. I really wanted to be on Real World, and I think I've told the story before. But Real World Seattle was the one I should have been on because I was in radio, and they were going to do a season where they worked at a radio station. And I told myself if they ever announced auditions for Real World Seattle, I was going to do it. And then they did, and I didn't do it because I'm a chicken shit coward. And I don't think I would have necessarily got on. They probably didn't want anyone with radio experience. But that would have been my choice.
Very good. Very good. I never watched The Real World, but sure.
True story. It was a special thing. Steve, Dancing with Stars, Road Rules, where would you go?
Ooh, Road Rules is a good one. That's actually a really, really good pick. I mean, game. I'm more like game show, like Jeopardy would be more of kind of like my dream. But no, Road Rules would be a really, really good one. I also, I mean, if I was single, I would totally go on The Bachelor.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. That's good to know. I don't want to say anything more on that one. I was gonna we should get you on it. You're currently married, so we're gonna do that. And yes, David Mackay says, "Is the Real World the one with the transportation secretary on it?" Yes, Sean Duffy, Real World Boston. Thank you, Boston. 1997. His wife was on that show too. She's a conservative news personality as well. F both of them. All right, Addie, that is perfect. We have 8 minutes left. Maybe this show can get you to Dancing with the Stars.
I would love to be on Dancing with the Stars so much, but I really think you should go on America's Got Talent, Ken. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, right, there we go. America, I'd be on. America might have talent. That might be where I'd be fit for.
What would you do? Stand up? Like, what would your talent be?
Stand up.
That's what you would do. Okay,
but
that's
I am so not refined enough to be a TV comic in that way. I need to pace. I stumble. I say words that aren't allowed on network TV. As a comic, I'm better live. I'm like one of those bands where you're like, oh, you got to see them live. And those aren't the kind of comics that do well on TV. So that'd be the biggest hang up.
If you couldn't do stand up, if you had to pick literally anything else, what would you do?
I have no discernible talent. Like for those kind of shows. Like I despise magic. So I'm not gonna do magic. I can't play a musical instrument. I can't sing. I'm nothing. I got nothing, Steve.
This is for your life, Ken. Like this is like it's either this or Simon Cowell takes you out to a dumpster. Like you
feed squirrels. I fed.
You could do a little animal bit. There you go. You could get Squirrely to jump through a hoop. There you go.
I didn't have time to update the video today, but I have video. I fed Kylo in the front yard today because I was taking the trash out, and I have a big pine tree in my front yard, and he saw me, and he came down the pine tree and was like, "Hey, you're in the front yard too." So I went and got a peanut, and I fed him in the front yard. So that would have to be it. Okay, there we go. Yes, I'm the Gwar of stand-up, says Jared. There you go. All right, we got 8 minutes left. Jared, you're back on the show, and then I got Cal, who has not been on the show tonight. So 6 minutes left. 6 minutes left, Jared. All right, you got the floor again.
Oh Lord, you guys are something else, you know. But before you watch the NBA Finals, you got to watch an episode of DS9.
That's not a fair trade-off.
Yes, it is. Just one episode. Come on, the NBA Finals are like 3 hours long and 45 minutes for an episode.
Hold on. I'm interrupting you rudely. Narcolepsy's right. Double Dare. I wanted to be on Double Dare. I absolutely wanted to be on Double Dare.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's
let's then continue this question. What game show? Because I would go on any of those Nickelodeon game shows. Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts, Double Dare. You know, those are all amazing.
Double Dare. Maybe Price is Right. I'd be the $1 asshole. I think I could do good on Price is Right. I auditioned for Family Feud years ago, back with my friend Ty and his family. I was their cousin, and I think they caught us. They thought we were lying. And we didn't get it. I auditioned 2 years ago for Star Wars Week on Wheel of Fortune. And maybe he doesn't want to remember. Alex Damon and I both auditioned for it, and we didn't get it. And we both were like, what? But my audition was horrible. Like, I nailed like the first one, and then the second one, you go through these games, you're on Zoom, and you do these like trial games. I lost every brain cell in that audition. It was like da 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 t da day boom ba, and I couldn't do it, and I was sweating profusely, so there was no chance I was going to get on it. But yeah, I don't know. Price is Right, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's the thing though. I couldn't do a game show that gave physical prizes because, like, The Price is Right. You got to take that boat home after the show and pay the taxes on it immediately. Yeah. Like, no, just give me cash. You can take your taxes out right now. Cash is good.
You know the game show I think I'd be good at? I think they did do a rebooted version recently. Supermarket Sweep.
Oh, wow. I
Supermarket
remember that
Sweep,
one.
the real version, the original version with David Ruprecht as the host, who was also Thurston Howell, the fourth, right, in the Gilligan's Island reboot. I think I would do that. I think I'm really good. I shop fast. I know my way. I could do that one.
What do you got?
If we're talking
Steve?
just Nickelodeon, well, because I said before, Jeopardy is just like my one true love. But for Nickelodeon like shows, like Double Dare and all that, Double Dare is a great one. Guts, or like Global Guts, because I love like the sports angle of it, and I wanted a piece of the Astro Crag as a kid. But really, Figure It Out, because Figure It Out was like the perfect mix of different like. Do you remember who Summer Sanders is, Ken?
Yes, I do.
Summer Sanders was a formative part of my childhood.
She's a very
Let's just
nice
put it that
lady.
way.
Very
Summer
talented,
Sanders is a
very talented athlete.
A very, very nice lady. And so I figured out if I could go on any game show, it would be like make me 10 years old again and take me back to the mid 90s and let's do Figure It Out.
God.
Okay,
I'd
like to be on that show in my 20s.
No, I've always wanted a Where Are They Now, the Guts champions, like, you know, because you never see like a piece of the Astro Crag randomly show up on eBay. So where are these little bastards?
There you go. MTV's Remote Control. Great choice, Narcolepsy. I think now I could have been good at that.
Oh, God. Remember Singled Out?
Singled Out. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I absolutely, Chris and Jenny. There you go. All right, Jared, great.
Off
we
the
got 2 minutes left of the show, but we're going to give him some bonus time. Jared's God, but for the first time on the show, returning from a week off, Cal, Kingsport Cal. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
All right. What's your favorite comfort show?
Well, I said Parks and Recs, and then you got Freaks and Geeks, My Soul Life.
Did you ever watch the follow up? But it wasn't connected. But the follow up to Freaks and Geeks, Undeclared.
No, I heard of it. I think I caught maybe a couple shows, but no,
yeah,
I never,
it wasn't. It certainly wasn't as impactful. It wasn't maybe quote as good. But I actually enjoyed Undeclared too as well.
But a music video, Kyle Harlow brought up one by Aha, Take On Me.
Take on me. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great video about a race car drive. But anyway.
It is. All right. 2 minutes left, Cal, but I'm giving you bonus time. I don't want to go too far over here. World War III might have just started. What's your question?
Do you ever, did you ever use a road map, like a car road map? I'm pretty sure in California.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
But
have you ever utilized those road map before?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I had a Thomas guide in my car. My old buddy Joel's in chat. I see Joel there. We all had Thomas guides in our cars. Absolutely, I would just as a hobby, I'd pull them out of the car and I'd just read them. I still kind of do that now. I go to Google Maps and just pick towns. That's how I know Johnson City so well. I'd go in the town and then I go back to the town and study it. When I was in Boston, I walked around with Mark and then went back to the hotel room and I studied the Boston map and kept saying, not going to go back there. Definitely avoiding that corner. So yeah, absolutely. I love good road maps.
Yeah, my father always had a leather-bound map. I don't think he was a Thomas guy because we didn't live in metropolitan area, but he had like an atlas at least, a road atlas. But yeah, he always pulled it out when we'd go on little trips and stuff. And nowadays, back in the day when I was a teenager and I first started driving, I was trying to get familiar with Kingsport and Johnson City and stuff. I didn't necessarily use a map, and we didn't have Google Maps, so I would go to areas that I was familiar with and try to get more familiar with them by driving around until I got lost, and then I have to find my way out. So that way, it got me familiar with different places of of the major cities that I go to or towns, what have you.
Yeah, Cal, you and I are in the same boat. When I moved to LA, 98 into 99, I would just get my rickety Plymouth Colt and I would just sometimes drive into areas where I would have to find my way home. I don't know if that's always the smartest thing to do. maybe a little male privilege there, but that's how I learned a lot of LA. And I still kind of do it. I still kind of go, oh, where does this road go? I've never taken it this far. So I enjoy doing that. You and I would have a good ride together.
Well, I do that again today now because of the advent of GPS, I'm not afraid to get lost in some of these
Right.
little tiny towns in Tennessee because I can get out. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, Cal, I do see what you're saying, because early on in like early '99, I had to go. No, take it back. 1998. I remember I had to go get my security guard uniforms in what is called City of Industry, which is a little bit of a, shall we say, rougher part of town. In fact, the guy who told me to get my uniforms was like, "What time are you going?" I was like, "I'll probably go right after this." So like 1 o'clock. He's like, "Good. Don't be in there in the evening time." Now, was he overreactive and probably now a Republican? Yeah, probably. But I didn't. I got direction. I printed out directions to there, and then I didn't really print out directions back, and I got lost and I got panicked. Cal, I got panicked and I ended up in other parts of LA I'd never been and everything. And it took me. I got home at like in the nighttime. It was a whole ordeal. So I wish I had a phone in my pocket to get me home then.
Yeah, you never know, man. Especially here, I could be rolling through a sundown town for all I know. You know what I'm saying?
Burbank? Yeah, you could be. You could be.
I don't think Burbank is a sundown.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But I can guarantee you, it was. It's part of our dark history here. Shame on you, Burbank. But we're trying to be better. We are a sanctuary city. We're doing as best we can. Though ICE has been all around Burbank the last couple of days. It's been pretty bad. So, hey, on that note, Cal, I appreciate you, buddy.
I don't even want to talk about the ICE stuff. I've seen some stuff here. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, I appreciate you too, Ken. I'll see you. Have a good weekend. All that good stuff. Go to a bar tonight.
Okay.
Maybe pick up a chick or two. Do something. Smoke a joint. Who knows?
Yeah, I might before it all comes crashing down. I appreciate you, Cal. Okay, we'll chat. All right. Kingsport Cal there. Steve, we're out of here tonight. Steve, you deserve the night off. Okay? No blathering backstage. You're going to rest from golf. Your back's probably killing you.
Yeah,
Burning.
the shoulders. The shoulders got a little thing going. Yeah, but we're good. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, no backstage tonight. We'll try doing tomorrow. So, look out for that.
And then programming note, we'll have Blathering Monday, no Blathering Thursday. I'll be at Superman, but we're going to do a Super Blather episode a week from today. Will be a lot of fun. So thank you all. Great questions, great conversations tonight. Thanks for sharing your comfort shows, your music videos. Brady, thanks for trying to convince me to watch basketball. You're all great. We'll see you soon. Bye.